The perimeter, which has gotten much more complicated, it's likely to be breached, unfortunately. So once they're in, can you see their behaviors suggesting that they're going to start exploiting their environment? Can you see it today when they're using AI to morph how they're even communicating back and forth in ways that a human may not anticipate? And that's where deep learning comes in.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Snowflake Ventures. The fight against AI-powered adversaries has changed security forever, making deep analysis of security data more critical than ever. Today, we're joined by a leader from a company pioneering this new approach on Snowflake. DeepTempo was a finalist in the 2025 Snowflake Startup Challenge, and we're thrilled to announce they are now part of the Snowflake Ventures portfolio. Please welcome their co-founder and CEO, Evan Powell. Evan, such a pleasure to be with you today.
It's great. It's great to be here. Thanks for having us, Ryan, and looking forward to the conversation for sure.
Evan, at the heart of DeepTempo is your log LM, which learns the language of logs to detect threats others can't see, isolating and responding with unmatched precision and resilience. What problems were you initially trying to solve, and what has led to your overall compelling vision?
Yeah, what we saw was, look, if we can use AI to build cool software, which of course you can, with the help of Snowflake, what are attackers going to use it for? And it turns out what they're using it for is, well, to build some maybe not so cool software, but basically attacks that avoid signature-based detections. So a few years ago, we had this vision. We had the inklings of really the beginnings of the model that we built. And thankfully, we got Bank of New York as an early design partner to say, like, we agree, like the future may be bright in lots of ways, but attackers are going to get smarter. How are we going to defend from that? And yeah, so it's really, we anticipated, unfortunately, the other side getting smarter. And we started building deep learning to protect against that a few years ago with the help of BNY and others.
Great perspective. Thank you, Evan. How has AI impacted the threat detection landscape, and how is your platform very much bridging that gap to give your users the confidence to ensure their data is safe and secure?
Well, maybe starting with the data safe and secure piece of it, for sure, running as a native app in Snowflake helps tremendously because we're using telemetry data. And those enterprises that have made the investment, or at least made the architectural decisions to start to pipe that into a trusted data lake, are somewhat ahead of the game, right? But then they might ask, cool, great, what about a brain to go with this data?
Right.
Can I actually not only gather it and have all of those benefits that are inherent to that, but also get smarter, better protect myself? So it is AI, we call it deep learning, just to differentiate a little bit from LLMs. A log LM is actually, it sounds crazy, but we basically built a model, and instead of teaching it on Shakespeare and all the wonderful stuff you can see on the internet, we taught it on logs, only logs. And if you do that, you end up with something that really understands the language of attacks. And that's what our log LM is today. And it runs great as a native app in Snowflake.
Thank you for that deep dive on the technical side. And now diving into a little bit of the negative side, how have bad actors elevated their ability to convincingly break through on the individual and corporate side? And what should companies be doing to serve their employees in order to best position the broader collective ecosystem for long-term success?
Right. I think this is where it's only right to say, you know, security hygiene for the win, right? We have to do all the things. We all have heard stories of threat actors impersonating potential employees,
right,
and getting in that way. And all of that, you know, multi-factor authentication, not trusting even your, you know, texts to be accurate, certainly voice and video, that's all important. But the other layer is try as we might, the perimeter, which has gotten much more complicated, much more dynamic, post-COVID, et cetera, it's likely to be breached, unfortunately. And so we also think that you have to have, one ought to have anyway, a motion detector in the house, right? So once they're in, can you see their behaviors suggesting that they're going to start exploiting their environment? Command and control, very concrete example. If they can't beacon out and actually speak to their mothership, right? they have they're not effective. But can you see it? Can you see it today when they're using AI to morph how they're even communicating back and forth in ways that a human may not anticipate? And that's where deep learning comes in. We don't anticipate it. We just see all of it. Anything that looks strange, we flag it, and then we start to use AI again to try to suggest, okay, it looks like this kind of attack. So yeah, do the hygiene, train ourselves to, have, I don't know, safety words, security words with our kids, right? When they call and say, send the 50 grand, right? All of that, that's crucial, but also anticipate it's likely they will get in. So it's actually likely they are in. And so do you have a motion detector? Can you actually see what they're doing in your environment today?
Thank you for that. And now I want to dive into the overall journey of DeepTempo. And it's great to sit down with you post Snowflake Startup Challenge and now being part of the Snowflake Ventures portfolio. How has this partnership helped DeepTempo build a more powerful product and expand its customer base by leveraging Snowflake's platform and ecosystem?
The first thing is, if you roll the tape back to the recent old days in security, if you wanted to, let's say you had an innovation in one part of the stack, you had to build the whole stack. So if you look at prior even ML-based security solutions, they have everything from agents often on the box, to they have pipelines, they have a flavor of data lake, they have UX, they have a SIM, they have the whole thing. Why? Just to bring to market that piece of innovation. So thankfully, we exist in a world in which Snowflake exists, right? And so we're able to focus on our differentiation, sort of a flavor of a brain, as we've talked about, and best of class data lakes with ingestion capabilities already built, all of the innovation happening, also the even pricing and the work that Snowflake is doing to enable mass quantities of ingestion are just huge for us. And then to be clear, security teams they're security conscious, right? So as you might imagine, you're a typical startup showing up to a tier one, Bank of New York, to pick one, and saying, hey, send us your data. That's really a hard conversation. So it's much easier for us to say, hey, we know you already send your data to Snowflake. Let us run in that environment. Snowflake's already kicked the tires on us. We know it works. It's in a quasi-hermetically sealed environment. Let's get going. So that has been a massive unlock for us in so many ways.
Well, congratulations to all the growth and success you've had. Evan, now I want to get personal with you. You have multiple successful exits under your belt. You clearly have a unique approach to founding companies. What's your core philosophy and how did it apply to when you launched DeepTempo?
That's a great question, and I appreciate the positive sentiments here. I have hit product market fit a lot, but let's be clear, none of them have hit in the way that Snowflake hit, right? And so when I kind of roll the tape back on myself, what I look at is it's all about people. It's all about getting trust with a partner like Snowflake and end user like some of the folks we've talked about. And we have people on the team who've walked away from good careers at AWS or Palo Alto Networks or et cetera, and they've jumped in to help build the future. So why did they do that? I think maybe it's track record. Maybe it's because there's it's caring and candor. There are two C's in the environment, in the company. It's all about people. But the other thing, roll the tape back on myself, is let's swing bigger, right? Let's really think about the future and work backwards. And this one is enormous. I mean, anticipating, we didn't have a perfect crystal ball, but you could kind of see, everyone knows hackers. This is Silicon Valley, right? They're going to use AI. They're going to be able to circumvent detection. So we really anticipated a trend that is now top of mind for not all CISOs, but a lot of CISOs. And we're getting inbound because folks are seeing AI-powered attacks are scary. So yeah, trust the people, build trust, be candid, be caring, and then maybe not swing for the fences, but work from first principles to really reinvent something. And I think that's probably what's most different about DeepTempo versus the other companies, which all hit product market fit and had decent exits, is we think we, with Snowflake, can be a foundation of a new cyber stack, one where the OODA loop, to get DevOpsy on it, is massively faster. And we have to get faster. attackers are winning. Attackers are winning today. I mean, I think you know this, Ryan, but I mean, we're talking, there used to be this phrase, the great sucking sound, I think it's a Ross Perotism. But anyway, trillions of dollars are being lost to attackers. We're spending $250 billion and trillions are being lost to attackers. We got to get smarter. So you asked a simple question, but big vision, a team that you trust, earning the trust of customers and partners. That's it.
Well, I appreciate your time and your insights and personal reflections. It's been a real pleasure exploring this all with you. But before we wrap, what's next for DeepTempo?
Well, you can kind of roll the tape forward a little bit and think about, okay, what could you do? Let's say you have a brain, a deep learning, a log LM. What could it do? Well, we think it could increasingly predict patterns of attack, right? So today it's more of the motion detector in your house, right? Because they're getting through the walls, right? They're getting through those detections. So now they're inside, we can see it. But what if we could see them, I don't know what the metaphor is, but walking by your house, So we're literally doing work with some of the largest threat intelligence vendors out there on how to enable them with deep learning to begin to predict patterns of attack before they even show up in your house. So that's the kind of direction we're going. And it's exciting. And obviously with Snowflake, there's a lot that we do already in terms of using some of the AI primitives, because in the end of the day, we're an embedding model. There's other embedding models that are native to Snowflake. So there's a lot of ongoing integration and more capabilities we're bringing to the table with Snowflake as well.
Well, looking forward to seeing what comes next. Thank you again for joining me today.
Yeah, thank you, Ryan. Thank you.
And for the audience watching, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you soon.